will get into master planning, how exactly the planning is done, what are the different planning strategies we have. So such kind of detailed analysis on planning we'll be covering today.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure.
So I'll be clear. And here you might see the topic name mentioned as SNOP. So here this will be a theoretical session and the detailed hands-on experience on demand management, planning strategies, planned independent requirements, all this stuff. And the details of SNOP will be covered in the next session
Okay,
on this
sure.
session. Okay,
ठीक.
perfect. So let's jump into our tracker. So here it is. Okay, let's take a quick look on production version on SAP. Earlier we discussed about this on theoretically, and we were
Yeah.
about to see it in SAP. So the transaction for C223 is for production version. So this is your first screen that you will get. Okay, I think here we have a different GUI. Let me just switch my GUI so it will be more convenient. See, this is the theme that most widely used. This has been replaced by S4HANA Fiori app screens. So whatever
Okay.
we have seen earlier, uh, I'll show you the theme name. So you can have a look on Quartz theme as well as uh, Billy's theme. So this two replicates the Fiori app screens, and this blue crystal is a standard SAP earlier. This is a very easy and user-friendly theme for configuration and all this stuff. When it comes to an customer, they prefer to go with these two, the first two themes, because it will be focusing only on an end user part. So whatever the transaction they use, only those will be covered in it. But when it comes to configuration perspective, this is the best theme that everybody use. Even I suggest this for you. And end of thread, it's up to you. Like whichever convenient for you, you can use it.
So,
C223. So you can see this difference between screens, right? In those screen, everything was zoomed, and you did not have an high clarity. And here it is crisp, like everything in one single page. Yeah. So it's up to you. You can use either theme. So when it comes to production version, first we'll be entering our plant. Actually, there's a new system, so I'll be going with 1000. Let me see what I have in the system. So MAST is to find list of bill of materials on each plant. Excuse me. So let me take this. So this is my material and MRP controller you can enter if you know. So once you hit your enter with your material as well as plant, it will ask for the bill of materials here. So which bill of materials you want to pick it here. Here you can define what kind of routing it is. And again, if you don't find the unique numbers in the front, again go option interaction design installation one, enable this. All new system, this will be unchecked. We have to check it. So we have seen this in the routing, right? When you create a routing, there are different types of routing. So so n is the routing which we are supposed to pick, And here we can define what is the routing that I have to use here. Can give my not available, maintain material and production version. Okay, here it says the production version not available, maintain material and production version. In this case, if I go to MM03, so what's my plant? Okay, it's 1710. So it will automatically uh, pick my routing details. Say and so for this routing, for this material and for this routing, I'll be using the production version 1 as this is the production version I'm going to use. So here I can assign my group. So which group I need to define. For example, when I go to my CS0, okay, CA03, and I enter this one, I'll get a group number in the header details. If I go to header, you can see the group number here, right? So this
Yes.
group number we can use it. So this will be mapped across. So when I enter this group here and enter, so this group and this will make an production version combination as production version 001. If I want to make an different version of my different version or different alternative bomb, I can define it here. I can give the same material and I can choose my different alternative bomb. I can give as two. So whenever you pick 001 in your material master, this routing and this material with alternate bomb 1 will be picked. When I use 002, when I use 002, whatever alternate bomb I have selected here and the bomb and this routing will be picked up. Let me save this so that I can show you before I show you. I go to material master in MM03 for this material. Before what scheduling? What's the plant? 1710. 1710. So here production version you have right in MRP4. In production version, here you can list down it. This will
Okay.
be listed here. You can go in and see. Okay, if I click on my details, it will give me the whole piece of details. Or if it is production version 001, this is my routing and this is my bomb. Bill of material is 1, usage is alternate bomb is 1 and usage is 1. Now what I'll do is let me create one more production version so that let's see how it is reflected. If I say this and my production version is 002, production version 2, and here they have lot size, right? So what I'll do is till 1 to 100 this is my bomb, and if it is 101 to 999 hit enter. So it will ask for my valid from date to date. I'll say 0103 2024 31 12 9 double nine double nine. Right. And I'll just save it. So it is processing. So now we have what happened? Oh, my second bomb, and this is my version 2. This is my date from 1012 999. And what is my Alternate bomb. If I have one more bomb, I can say two. If not, I'll just give one, and I'll give my okay. Even if I don't give it, it'll pick it up. It does already exist. Okay, CS C223.
किसी को मैंने भेज दिया अभी इसको करना था क्योंकि ये जिम्मे काम हो जाएगा मेरा ना तो मैं रात को निकल जाऊंगा
One more. Two. My details here. Not one till 999.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, you are entering the date format valid from and valid to.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it okay?
Now, if you enter without dots, it will pick with dots. It will automatically validate and convert this way.
Okay.
So throughout SAP, you don't need to enter the dates in exact format. Just the numbers will is more than enough. When you enter 01032024, the system will take it as
Okay.
01.03.2024. It says production version 2 is already exist. Okay, let me change the number of this. PR01 just for the sake. So now we can see we have one more production. We have three different production version created. Okay, and you can define what exactly. Okay, if I hit routing, I did not save. If I remove this, here is my group counter is 1 and routing type is n. So if I enter all these details, I can see two different production versions available for this material and this routing. So 0001 and PR01. Once
So
you
what is
create this
sorry? What is the role of group number?
group number is the unique identifying number of routing. If you go to your routing here, CA03, each routing will have their own group number, right? This is my routing for this material and it will have an unique number, which is group number. And if you create multiple routing for same, the group counters will change.
Okay.
In same way, for CS, if you go to CS03, I mean in bill of materials, if you check the header, you will have bomb number. There's the bomb number. For bill of material, it is bomb number and alternate bomb. For routing, it is group number and group counter.
Sure.
Good. Now what I can do is once I've created my production version, I can go to my material master, click on my production version. So here I'm in display mode. What I'll do is I'll go to change mode, MM02 is a material in MRP4 view. Is my plant, and in production version I can go. I can see all my production versions here.
Okay.
So what you can do is either you can go to any of the production version and you can do all the relevant changes here. And if it is in the this icon, like if it is not it checked, you can click on check. So the system will validate whether this bill of material and routing is exist in the system or not. Once it check, it will throw a message like task list exists. Task list is nothing but your routing and bomb exist. Once you get this two status, if you close, this will turn to green.
Okay.
And
So
now you can
okay. We can change production version by going in material master also.
real
Material master.
I didn't get it properly, sorry.
Like we have changed production version right now, na, by using
Mm-hmm.
MM02.
Yeah.
So I can say I am asking that we can change production version by using MM03, or we can change also production version by using production version variation itself.
Now, production C223 is to create the production versions, and here you can define it. Here you can define which all I can use it, and from the if you want to modify, either you can do it here, but create should happen on
Okay,
C223.
okay. No,
That will give
I
the high
was
level clarity.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that like we are studying master data, each option has changing their different T code, so it has also.
Yeah, you can see it's either way. Either you can do it here, or we have dedicated transaction C223. You can do that as well.
Okay, fine. Continue.
So this is an high level details about production version. So that's what we create in the system.
Okay,
So next we will be jumping on master planning. How the planning is done, what are the different types of planning, all these details will be covered in this topic, in today's topic. Okay.
okay,
Before I go, what I'll say is I'll create one more sheet for you. Session 3 is 3 master planning. Okay, any system. Okay, let's jump into the topic. So any time you go for an SAP planning, the planning happens in two different way. One is through APO. So PP, whenever you heard about the PP module, it is production planning and controlling. So PP stands for production planning and controlling. Okay, this is the first ever version built by SAP for production planning. So what we are doing is earlier, since we have since 2015 or 2016, I believe it's 2017. Since 2017, we were till 2017 we were using this PP for planning,
so
execution, and interface. Interface is common topic. Let's not let me not highlight this. So we were using both till 2017. SAP PP module has been used for both planning and execution. See, planning and execution combined together to call it as PP module. Later 2017, due to some new, post 2017, see, due to lot of constraints and different marketplace we have, like SAP started exploring all the marketplaces, right? They are into defense, they are into locomotive manufacturing, they are into chemical manufacturing, all manufacturing units now we have SAP. See, when they are expanding their scope of planning in SAP, they came excuse me, they came up with a different solution, saying that let's split up this planning and execution into two different parts. The execution alone will fall on production planning, and planning will have a dedicated tool. So in 2017, what they bought is APO. APO is nothing but advanced planning and
yes,
optimization.
yes,
So this APO, what exactly it does is like it will help throughout SAP. It is not just with PP. There is one module that supports PP. So across, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, across SAP, different systems, they've implemented this APO. So this APO can be used for SAP PP. It can be used for supply chain. It can be used for global ATP. All those different modules can be used. Can use this APO. Once they implement this APO, they had different modules. The first one is demand planning. Demand planning is nothing but any kind of demand planning. They call it as APO DP. So demand plan, it's an the complex and high performance and flexible planning can be done through this demand planning. So here we can have the sales. They'll consider all the sales. They consider all in-house plannings. They consider all forecast based planning. Everything will be considered, and the data will be fetched from the PP. SAP PP system to APO system, and with those data, they will start doing the planning. So I'll say as DP, demand planning. And the second module is supply network planning, SNP. So SNP defines this purely for distribution, transport, and the forecast. So here there are a couple of streams they have segregated, similar to like all supply networking. So whatever data, like whatever transportation you are doing from one place to another place, all these planning will comes under this SNP. And they have one more thing called GATP. GATP is nothing but global available to promise. This is again a part of APO, which will help the customers like the SAP users, end users to understand when exactly they can deliver a product. And the next one is called PPDS. This is called production planning and detailed scheduling. So this is where the PP comes into picture. This is relevant for PP, production planning and detailed scheduling. Whenever you create a plan, let's take an example. In SAP PP, we will be creating the demands. Demands in the sense it can be a sales order or it can be a manual forecast that we enter in SAP PP system. Once it is done, all these details will be sent to APO PPDS. So they will have the whole piece of data. What are the requirements? We have end-to-end requirements. It can be in stock transport orders, it can be customer sales orders, it can be internal orders, or something that consignment orders. End-to-end requirement will be transferred to this PPDS. It can be done through an transaction code, but I am not aware exactly now because it's a long transaction. So when it comes to APO, the transaction will be pretty huge. Like there'll be more than 20 characters. I don't have handy with me now. Through the transaction, all the demands will be sent to PPDS, and there are dedicated APO consultants. So what they do is they will collate all the data, and they will reform those data with some analytics, and they transform all the requirements in one single page, and again they will send the plan to PP system, SAP PP system, saying that, hey, considering all my requirements for this material, this much you have to procure. For material A, you have to procure 100 quantity on this month. For material B, it's an in-house production material. You have so and so sales orders. So this month you have to produce minimum of 100 quantity. So such kind of the final decision will be provided. The planning will be provided from APO PPDS. And APO, similar to PP consultant, we have an APO consultant as well. We will be closely working with them, so they have a lot of prerequisites. When we speak about I'll just show you one master work center. Give me a sec. CA03, CA03, CA03. If I go to this work center, here you have advanced planning tab, right? This is what I said earlier. Unless you check this advanced planning, you cannot send these information to APO system. So the first prerequisite to send the data from PP system to APO system is for work centers, you have to enable this. And I'll show you a couple more. It's Fin1, right? CR02, Fin1. And if you go here in capacity, and if you go to capacity header, here you have something called where it is. 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
No, actually, I couldn't see the APO tab here. So they have to enable this. APO team has to enable an configuration here so that we will have one more tab called APO resources. So this APO resources, you can see it here next to the short text. There we can maintain all the details related to APO module. So we will not be maintaining, but our APO resources will do it. They will go and enter a couple of values over there. So that will be used to pull the data from SAP from this work center. Let me try. I have some knowledge on APO. Let me try to grab those details here. Possibly tomorrow I can give you some input. I can
Sure.
show you how exactly it looks like. See, I'm not giving you an whole details about it, but at least some basic information I can give you.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Similar way, we do all kind of plannings here, and planning is moved to since post 2017. All planning has been moved to PPDS, especially in S4HANA. All the planning is done in PPDS. If APO PPDS is not enabled in your project, then PP will take care of the planning part as well. Have you heard about APO team in your module, in your company? Do you have any
No, no,
consultants?
no, sir. Actually, at
Okay.
present, in our ECC system, we don't have the PP module. So
Oh,
we are just
okay.
having FICO, SD, MM. That is all. Bas.
And how the planning is happening?
Except we are not having. We are also having plant maintenance, but we are not having any production planning
No, no, no.
system.
Then how the production planning is controlled? Like how you're doing? Do you have any other ERP system for
No, no,
production
no,
planning?
no ERP system is there.
Okay. Okay,
Like
cool.
the SNOP and all, we are having manually.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah,
Okay, great. Okay, so this is how the whole picture of planning and execution works. Now, when we discuss about planning, there are multiple types of planning we have in the system. One is planned independent requirement, and the second one is sales orders. Through sales orders, we can do a planning, and we have uh, SNOP, and we have long-term planning, and we have forecast-based planning. So there are multiple types of planning we have in SAP system, and this serves the core theory of planning. This plan independent requirement concept, and we also call it as demand planning. So these plays major role in SAP. Let's jump to the process. How exactly a PP flow carried out in SAP? Then only we can understand which part of planning we have, which part of the flow we will be doing the planning. I think I have given this information somewhere. Let me take a look. Yep, it's here. So this is the SAP PP flow. First, what we do is we create an planned independent requirement for finished goods. Planned independent requirement is nothing but you define, okay, this month I have to produce 100 quantity, the next month I have to produce 150 quantity. Such kind of forecast based planning you will be doing it. So to predict it, your sales team will help you. They will have a lot of analytics in place, and with all those analytical details, they will tell you, hey, from sales perspective, this is the quantity I need on each month for next 1 year, and you know how exactly you have to produce a component, like you know how the buffer should be. If they say 10 quantity, you will not go with 10 quantity, you will have some buffer, you know some fault might happen, or you know sometimes there will be a power shutdown which cannot be accommodated to the next month production. So all those details you will consider, and we enter the demand in this step in planned independent requirement, which is done through a transaction called MD61. Once you've entered all the planning, you can see the planning has been created in MD04 screen. I'll add one more here. This can be verified in MD04 stock requirement list. So this is in validation. This is not an actual step that we perform. Once you enter this your demand, you can validate in MD04 transaction whether you have created whatever you created, whatever plan you have created has been reflected or not. Once you create and plan independent requirement, you will do an MRP run. MRP run is nothing but material requirement planning run. This is done in SAP system. This MRP run, what it does is, first it will consider end-to-end requirements. First, it will check for the list of materials with uh, which is not ND. It will go and pick all the materials first, which is not having ND as MRP type. Once it
So
pick
India,
all the data, sorry,
India means sir.
ND is MRP type. In Material Master, we define it right in MRP2 view, in MRP1
Okay.
view, MRP type. I can show you once again. So here we define it PDND.
Okay. Okay.
If you define ND, this material will not be considered. Whatever MRP type we have maintained, except ND will be considered by the system.
Okay.
Okay. Next, it will check
Yes, sir.
the independent requirement for the material. There are two different requirements. One is independent requirement and dependent requirement. Independent requirement is nothing but it is not dependent on any other material. Let's say if you are manufacturing 100 bunch of A4 sheet, bond sheet, it is not dependent on any other material. Simply you will have a sales order and you will be producing it. But to do an finished good of A4 sheet, you need couple of raw materials, right? Those raw materials
Yes.
are called as dependent requirement because these are dependent on this finished good. So whenever
Mhm.
an HALB, the semi-finished good, can be dependent or can be independent, but all the raw materials will be dependent requirement. If we have a bomb structure of FERT, HALB1, ROH1, this is my bomb structure. For my finished good one, I need one HALB. To produce my HALB, I need one ROH. So the demand that creates, the purchase requisition that is created for ROH is dependent requirement, and the planned order or purchase requisition created for HALB1, it can be either independent requirement or dependent requirement. This FERT, the sales order, the production order that you create will be independent requirement. It is not dependent on any other. There is no high level for it. Clear? Are you clear about independent and dependent requirement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the system will go and check for all the independent requirement of a material. Then what it does is it will go and check for the bill of materials. Once it check the bill of material, it will check dependent requirements for components. And fifth step will be planned order or 1 minute. It will create a planned order or purchase requisition. Planned order is created for FERT and HALB, or in any material master if we maintain procurement type as F, procurement type as E. All procurement type E will have planned orders. All procurement type F will get the purchase requisition because it is purely external procurement.
Sure.
Okay, these five steps will be performed when you do an MRP run. See, this MRP run, once you execute, you cannot see anything on the system. I'll just show you MD04. Oh, sorry, uh, MD02. So this is MRP run transaction. You just enter the material, you just enter the plant, and all these parameters, processing key, purchase requisition, or whatever it is, all those details will enter and hit enter. It will ask for confirmation that you can see in the blue screen. Once you hit enter, in a fraction of seconds, all these five steps will be executed. All these 5 seconds will be executed. It will not take more than 20 seconds. End-to-end requirement will be captured, and the demand on all the requirement planning has been material requirement planning will be executed. Once it is done, there will be two different output. One is planned order, and other one is purchase requisition. There will be two different outputs from this MRP run, either a planned order or a purchase requisition. Planned order is for FERT and HALB. Purchase requisition is for ROH. From this point, all the purchase requisition will be taken care by material master team. They will go and check the purchase requisition. They'll convert it to purchase order. They will send the notification to the vendor. They will send the material, and the MM team will do a goods receipt. This process will happen, and they will upload the stock in the system. Once they receive the stock, they will update in the system, and in MMBE transaction, which is stock overview transaction, you can find all the stock quantity over there. Now PP module will take care of this planned orders. Either this planned orders can be converted to production order or process order, depends on the business process we have. If we have production orders, we can double click on the planned orders and convert as in production order. Once production order is created, we will release the production order. Once production order is released, we will do a goods issue. If you activate backflash, this goods issue can be automatically performed during the step 7 order confirmation. Once this order confirmation is done, goods receipt will happen. Goods receipt is nothing but we have already covered all these topic, right? What is goods issue? What is goods receipt?
Yeah.
Once goods receipt is done, we will be technically closing the order, and we do an order settlement and financial transaction. We will be executing to see what is my planned cost and what is my actual cost. So this is a PP flow. Here now we are discussing about PAR. This MD61 is what we will be discussing now. Let me jump to my SAP screen. MD61. Before that, I'll take a note. I'll just open MD04. Okay. So before we jump to MD61, this is MD04 screen. I'll just repeat it again. MD04. This is stock or requirement list. This is the screen that you can see. You can enter the material number and you can enter the plant and hit enter. So this will give you the high level description or details about this material. What it is material, what is the material type, what is the MRP type, unit of measure, and what is my current stock, and what are the planned orders I have, what are the purchase orders I have, production orders I have. End-to-end details you can capture here. This is a display transaction that I have maintained here. Yeah, to just validate or you can process with production orders. Now let's create a planned independent requirement. So to create a planned independent requirement, we use an T code called MD61. MD61. This is my first screen where I enter my material number and my plant and my version. Version is nothing but you can create multiple versions. We call it multiple quantities we can have. Post all discussion, one can be confirmed. And here you have planning horizon. Planning horizon is nothing but from date and to date. What should be your planning range? So now if I enter 4 March to 8 April of 2025, inside I can see the dates between these two planning horizon, and it will be on monthly basis. You can change to weekly basis or daily basis as well.
Hmm.
So let me click enter. So this is your planning sheet. Here you can see the versions. You can create n number of version and you can either make it as active or inactive. If I disable this checkbox, this will be an inactive version, just in simulation version. Similar way, I can create n number of planning versions. And after my review, I can just confirm just one as as my active version. Rest all I can mark as inactive. Now, for the March, let me, I have decided to produce 10 quantity. For April 20 and May 30 quantity. I'll hit enter and I can save it. This is my planning. For this material, I have to plan 10, I have to produce 10 for March, 20 for April, 30 for May. Once I enter these details, I can save it. Now you can see the requirement has been saved. This data, now we have simply entered some value, but in real time in your industry what happens is like there'll be a lot of meetings happens, and all the high level C level team will sit and discuss how exactly I have to produce my components. There will be an planning team, right?
Hmm.
Dedicated planning will be available in industry, so they will sit and discuss about this and enter the value. Once you enter the value in MD04, you can see some entries. Earlier it was blank, right? There was no value. But now if you see, we have three different independent requirements created with the quantity we have entered, which means for March, I have an independent requirement which is not dependent on any material. It is an independent requirement. And MRP element VSF. VSF is nothing but there's no expansion for it, simply a VSF. VSF means it's an finished good and independent requirement. F10 for March, April 20, and May it is 30. My available stock is 0. On this date, I have a requirement of 10 and my available stock is minus 10. On this date, my quantity I should produce is 20 and earlier I have 10, so minus 30 is my available stock. I have to produce 30 quantity now. So are you clear how the planning is done?
Yes, sir.
Similar way, there is one more planning methodology called sales orders. It can be done in transaction VA01. I can just display the transactions here. You can see in the bottom VA01. So here the sales team will enter their sale orders and those sale orders also reflect in MD04 screen. Let's say I see there are a couple of configuration needed. Let me just try whether it works. Okay, my material. Uh, VBAK. So VBAK is a table for my header. I mean sales order header. I might have a material MATNR. I'll just have a material number here. BABP is for item. Yeah. So now let me just simply check whether we have any sales order for this, so I can show you. Boom, 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 boom. Can find plant. Where's my plant? VRKS. Okay, here I have plant 1701710. Here you can hit this number of entries to see whether you have any values in the system or not. If I remove my plant, see, instead of executing, you can check with this. If you hit, it will say you have 10 entries of sales order in the system. Then you can execute. Okay, for this material, I have some sales order. MD04. That's my material and my plant. Oh, I don't have plant details here. Okay. Forward. Let me check where this plant is. Keep scrolling right. We have a plant. Okay, plant is T002. T002. Let's take an example of this material. Let me create a sales order for this. VA01 or this is my sales stock number VA0 VA03. Okay, this is how a sales order will be. Let me replicate the same sales order uh, to show you how the system will behave. Let's go to MD04. MD04. In MD04, for this FG T002, I don't have any quantity. Okay. Now what I'll do is in MD61, let me try to create MD61. So let's speak about the sales order. Sales order is again I'll show you the screen first. In MD04, I have no material requirement exists for MD01. So what I'll do is I'll create MD61. No requirement type exists for material. They did not configure it for production planning. It is in sales material, it seems. Here, whatever we are seeing is MTS process. It is make to stock.
Stock.
When we discuss about MTO process, I'll here instead of PAR, we'll be having the sales order. I'll show you. I'll do the pre all configuration before we come to the session. So next session we can cover that. So I'll set
Okay.
up all the sales order stuff. Now let's
Sure.
concentrate on MD61. So MD61 and my material number is F10A and my plant is 1710. I have some requirements already entered in the system. In MD04, I can see those requirements as independent requirement. Now let's run MRP. Before that, let's see how this bomb structure is. C03 for this. Okay, to produce F10A, we need S201 and S202, or each 100 quantity. When you have a tick box here in the assembly, it means there is one more bomb structure available for S201. For S201, you need S301 and S3 or 302. Again, there is one more bomb level here. If you explore, for S301, you need a component called R401. So they have multi-level bomb structure here. Okay. Now, when I create a planned independent requirement for this material, these two materials also will have some reflection. Let's take how it is, how there is a change here. If I hit enter, you can see there is zero stock, but there is no planning has been happened still, because you just planned an independent requirement. You did not do any MRP run in the system, which will take the independent all the dependent requirements and do a planning. You just said this high level material I need 10 quantity and 20 quantity on different months. Now all this 201 and 202, it should be blank. There will not be any value here or any dependent requirements here. Now what we can do is, let's do an MRP run and see how exactly these values are reflected. I'll go to one more screen, MD02. See, in the difference between ECC and S4HANA is, to run an MRP, you have three different transactions. One is MD01, which is scope of planning. Irrespective of material, all the material that you have in a plant can be executed, or you can club 10 plans in one code, and all 10 plans can be executed. That is called scope of planning. If I just explain you the scope of planning here, uh, my plants is 1000, 1001, 1001, 1002, 1003. Now I want to club all these plans to a single code. So what I'll do is I'll create a scope of planning as PR01. In PR01, I'll be clubbed all these plans. Now when I enter this PR01 in scope of planning, all the plans that I have in PR01, this 1000 to 1003 will be considered for MRP run. I mean, all the materials on these plans will be considered for MRP run. It's one single shot where end-to-end materials will be planned in a plant. And the next one is on MD02. This is single item multi-level, which means you have a bomb structure. SAP PP. Okay, you have a bomb structure. This is your header material. This is your head top level bomb, and you have first level material. This is single level. When you do an MRP run, single item multi level, all this will be considered irrespective of levels you have. You might have again a HALB 2 here, and in HALB you might have ROH 2, ROH3. What we have seen in the system. Now we have seen an example in the system, right? There are inside every semi-finished there is a raw materials inside. So that is multi-level bomb. If you run FERT on MD04, MD02, all the bottom level semi-finished raw material will be considered for planning. In MD03, MD03, single item, single level. If you execute this MD03, if you use this MD03 for MRP run, only this two will be considered for planning. All the bottom levels will not be considered. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let's now in S4 HANA we have an transaction called MRP live, which is done using MD01N. This is a single transaction where you can have all the three transaction codes, right? MD01, 02, 03. All those configurations will be applied here. Whatever you saw in all three has been has been collated in this single transaction. You can give multiple plans, or you can, which is called scope of planning. You can do multiple material level planning, or you can create a product group list of similar to scope of planning, list of products in one single group. And if you execute MRP run for that group, all the materials inside the product group will be considered in the MRP run. Or you can do it in MRP controller type. You just give an MRP controller saying that Ashish have an MRP controller time as AH1, and you will be having 15 or 20 materials assigned in your MRP controller ID. Simply you can execute with this ID or material scope. It is like again, with the, see, there are different type of MRP I told, right? Master requirement, see, material requirement planning, material master planning schedule. So you can define both way. Some materials will be in MRP type, it is segregated as MPS material. If it is PD or some other V1, V2, V3, all those considered as MRP. You can use that as well. And here also to be included in planning, the single level or multi level, that can be controlled with this three checkbox. All bomb, all order bomb components, in the sense whole piece of multi level bomb. And the control parameters called regenerative planning, it will reproduce all planned materials again. Scheduling, there are a couple of options saying that determination of basic dates for planned order, lead time scheduling in the capacity planning. So how exactly you need these parameters to be considered for this environment? What is the timeline, or what is the date range you have to consider for your planning, and how the scheduling should happen? And here you have something called planning mode. Planning mode, we have two different options. One is adapt planning data, which is whatever today you are running an MRP and the system has proposed you couple of planned orders and production orders. Tomorrow morning you thought something like, okay, my planning data is not accurate, so I need to recreate all my planning. So what you can do is you can select three, so that it will delete all the planning that you have in the system and it will recreate. Today in MD61, you might have entered 10 for March. Tomorrow, after few thoughts, you will say, no, no, I don't want to produce 10 quantity. I just want to produce 5 quantity. So you can enter 5 and you can do an delete and recreate planning. So it will remove all the previous planning for the different requirement, and it will create a fresh requirement. And the performance log, which is the log for this MRP, can be you can give a name here, and you can give a checkbox here, so it will perform, it will generate a file in the system. It will create a log file in the system. This is called MRP live transaction. The same can be done in MRP 01, 02, 03. In normal, like we call it as classic MRP. We call it as classic MRP, which is old MRP MD 01, 02, 03. MRP live MD01N. In classic MRP, a few components. When I say components, are these items, the parameters. Few parameters has been removed in MRP live to remove the confusion of the detailed planning, because most of them has gone for the planning on APO, right? APO, IBP, such plannings, right? So to reduce the complexity in MRP, they've removed couple of fields. You can explore and compare both MD01, 02, 03 versus MD01N. All those details will be simply captured or collated in this MRP live. Now let's jump to MD02. Let's see how exactly it is happening in MRP MD02. Then we can try in MRP live as well. Now I'll go and enter my F-0 10A. This is my plant. I'll say processing key is nothing but net change in total horizon, or say net change in planning horizon. Okay, and any UPL is not allowed here, because it is allowed only for single item, single level. So any tech is nothing but net change in total horizon. Whatever the dates from today till end of the planning parameters we have maintained in MD61 and will be considered. Do you want to create a purchase requisition or a planned orders? So it will say if you enter one every time for purchase like materials with MRP type, external procurement type is E, it will create a purchase requisition or it will create a planned orders. If you say three, it will create a planned order. From planned orders, you can convert to a purchase requisition. If you select two, purchase requisition in open period for certain period of time, let's say 1 month or 1.5 month, as per the configuration maintained, this will create a purchase requisition. And after this 1 month or 1.5 months, everything will be planned order. So whenever you need it, you can convert it as a purchase requisition. I can say purchase requisition because we don't go with planned orders for materials. And this is delivery schedule lines. Delivery schedule lines. Uh, this will reflect in the scheduling part as well as outline agreement part. So this let's have one no schedule lines. The MRP list, which is obsolete in MD01 and MRP live, which will produce a list of changes that has been reflected in this MRP. And planning mode, similar to what we have seen, adaptive planning or delete and recreate planning. In ECC, we have one more called re-explode bomb and routing, which means sometimes we might have updated the routing. So we need the new routings to be applied in the MRP or in the new planning. So at that time, we can click on this too, so that the new active bombs will be considered in all the planned orders. And scheduling, do you want to schedule based on the planned orders, like every planned orders will have their start date and end date? Based on the planned orders, do we schedule it, or the lead time scheduling and capacity planning scheduling means based on the capacity availability the planning will happen. So this one we do it at the time of production orders creation, not at the planned order creation. Now hit enter. It will ask for please check your inputs. Again, here you can have a checkbox called simulation mode just to check whether the output is same or not, or it is satisfying or not. You can use the simulation mode. See, you can see the materials, right? S301, S302. This is the high level material that we have planned. This is my finished code. And inside, there is two more material has been planned, which is S201 and S203. I can show you the bill of material. So, yeah. So inside this, I have two components, S201, S203. That is what it got planned here. Again, in S201, I have one more components, which is S301 or 302. S301 or 302. Again, in S301, I have one more bomb, which is R401. R401. So multi-level bomb has been considered by this MRP run, and all the requirement has been calculated, and when you save it, it will give you an output. The planned order creation will happen. Now can you understand how this MRP run works?
Yes, sir.
Now let me,
And
I'm not saving this, but let me try
I
to
know. Sir,
uh,
actually, we have understand the theoretical concept. We will get better it once we practice it by once. No?
exactly. Let I'm just doing MD03 now just to differentiate how it works.
Okay.
I don't have the simulation mode here. Okay, let me go to MD02. So you can try this MD03 as well. So MD03 will not go the second level. It will just finish the planning in first level.
Hmm.
Now I'll just run an MRP run for MD02 for this material without any simulation. In fraction of seconds, all planning will be done, and it will throw you a message like this. It says material planned is 6. Material with new expectations are 6, which is a new expectation planning has been done for 6. And this is my plan, this is my MRP area. New planned orders created is 5. New purchase requisition created is 3. Dependent requirements created is 9. Um, Throughout this MRP run, irrespective of material, this is what happened. And here you can see what are the materials considered in planning, and what is the quantity, what is the runtime it take to do an calculation, and what are the data it has read, the net calculation time, what is my BOM number for this material that has been considered for this material. BOM number, you know, right? For routing, it is group number. For BOM, it is BOM number. So when this MRP has been executed, it picked BOM number 29. I'll show you that as well. This is my header material. If I go T01, actually the BOM number is 31 here, but I don't know why it picked 20. This BOM quantity or BOM. No, this is not the BOM number. It can be quantity or the time taken for to explore this BOM. So similar way, you can find the list of materials that has been planned. So when the planning has been started, this will not have your own time. This will be the server time, which is in US time zone, and the start time, end time, CPU time, all this full details of this MRP you can see here. Now let me jump to MD04. So my MD04 was this earlier, right? I just had my independent requirements and the VSF and the quantity. Now after MRP, I'm just refreshing it, and now I can see my planned orders. For 10 quantity, I'm just considering this first two lines. I have my independent requirement with 10 quantity, and my planned order has been created for 10 quantity. My available stock is 0 now. And this is my planned order number. You can double click on this and you can see the planned order number and display it. You will get the whole piece of data about this planned order. What is my start date? What is my end date? And what is my order quantity? If you have maintained scrap quantity, that will update here. And what is my production plan? Where is my storage location? What is the production version has been exploded for this BOM, for this planned order? And if you go to assignments, this will say what is my MRP type, who's my supervisor, and in master data you can see what is my in-house production time, what is my lot size, fixed lot size details, and bill of material, which bill of material has been exploded, alternate one has been exploded, and the status of the BOM. All those details you will have here. And I am just checking my second level BOM. Let's see how it got exploded. CS03. Okay, now this S203, S203 is on single level and S201 is multi-level. Let's see what happened to S20, S20, what is that? 201, S hyphen 201, S hyphen 201. Assembly type is D1. What is D1? Okay, demand driven replenishment stock. MM02, 201. Okay, someone has made some calculation. See, the system has been calculated some reorder point based on their calculation here. They have D1 and they have set the maximum stock level. This is automatic replenishment calculation by the system. let's not disturb it. Maybe I can take some other components to. Let's see what is for R203 or R302. If I go here, I have PD. Okay, let's check what has happened for R203. Yes, 203. Okay, S203 we have some value. See, S203 it has been considered for this MRP because the procurement type should be E for it. F. See, the procurement type is F here, which means external procurement, right? When I see after my MRP run, I can see purchase requisition has been created for it. I have a dependent requirement. This is dependent requirement. This material of 10 quantity, I mean, this 600 has been dependent on this material. In my BOM, I can see for single material, I need 100 piece. There is a lot of, due to some system calculation, the quantities that we enter is pretty confusing. What is my MD61? I have 10A, I have 10. So it should have 100 into 10, which is 1000 quantity should be my quantity here, but it has 600. But no worries, when you try it, anyway we will be creating a set of master data and try it, right? So there we can see the whole piece of calculation. Now let's see how the system just simulated. So for this requirement I have created an purchase requisition, and now in my bill of material I go to CS03. Let's see how the second level bomb has been executed. I have a raw material here. Let's check MD04 for this raw material. I have one purchase requisition here. Purchase requisition has been created for this material, and it's again a dependent material, dependent requirement. For this material, I have a purchase requisition. See, this is how the system will consider multiple bill of material, multiple level bill of materials. So are you clear about how exactly this MRP run will take the data from the system, how it reads the bill of material, how it creates planned order, purchase order, what exactly triggers the planned order and purchase order, like external procurement type, and how this MRP type works? Can you just relate all these data?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now what we can do is let's create a set of master data.
Yeah.
Okay, and execute till now whatever we have tried. Let's execute it so that we will have the hands-on experience.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, now
Yes.
I'll give you a task saying that because you need a set of data from your end, then only we can execute the system, right? Even if I explain you, you need a hands-on experience, right? So we need an FERT. You can name it as per you wish.
Yeah.
Insert FERT, we need HAL1. Inside HAL1, we need uh, ROH1. We need a bill of materials in the way. We need FERT1, the finished good. Inside finished good, I need one semi-finished and one raw material. Inside this HALB, I need one component.
Okay.
Okay. And first you have to start with material creation.
Yeah. आगे बढ़ आगे.
Material creation.
Yes,
Second
sir.
one, bomb creation.
Yes, sir.
Third one, work center creation. Fourth on work center and routing. and fifth on PV creation. Sixth on create AR MD 01 MD61. 7 MRP run hold. Till this point you created an
Yes.
MRP run. We can do it all together on the next call.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we can see how exactly these are working. Whatever we have done in the top step, how exactly it is working, we can do it.
Sure.
So consider it as an first level of activity because this is the base. With only if you have your master test available with you, then we can keep on executing and see how the MRP type is reflecting in MRP and how the lot size is working, how the safety stock works. End to end details we can capture it.
Yes, sir. Because
Okay.
it works in our system also, no?
Yeah, yeah, because you have to, even though if I explain here, you have to re-execute whenever you're free and see, you have to do lot of study irrespective of what I'm teaching today. See,
Yes, sir.
I cannot cover each and every field. Like if it is MRP type, there are 20 types of MRP type, right? I cannot cover all 20. If I cover all 20, for that
Yes.
alone will take 3 months of time, right? So whenever you're free, you can try to, I can give you the concept, how it works, and you can try every individual MRP types and you can see the system behaviors.
Yes. Basically,
Even
sir,
definitely, you, uh,
in our plant, we are using PD type of MRP most of the time.
uh, uh, uh.
PD type of MRP. So we are also keep searching for. There are many terms which we are
Mm.
used, and we
So
can
how do
relate.
you search for those materials?
Like simply googling it, like what if
Uh,
type of MRPs. So I have to go through Google, list out, and go to the plant team and ask why we are
No, no,
using
you
this.
don't need to do it. See, go to your SAP, go to AC16N, enter
Yes.
MARC table. Here you
Okay.
have the MRP type.
Okay.
Here, just say uh, in this icon, right? There is an flower icon here, right? Just click
Yes.
on and here exclude.
Okay.
Click on exclude and say PD and
Okay.
check how many entries you have. I have 121. Now execute it. If I
Okay.
scroll right, where's my MRP type, buddy?
By using ME16 and we can find any tables, data of tables.
AC16, yeah. See, my MRP type, some of them is ND, some of them are blank.
Mm.
You can do it this way. You don't
Okay.
need to go and ask anyone. Definitely for AC16 and C16, if you have
Yeah.
VB, go to AC16 and this is just a display transaction. You cannot execute anything with this table. It's a table display access. Everybody will have. Go
Okay.
to MAR AC16N, enter the table name as MARC, and in the bottom you can see there are a lot of fields DISMM, which is for MRP type,
Okay,
and
sir.
enter the exclude SPD and execute. You will get the materials. You can understand what are the different MRP types you are using. They are using in your company.
Basically, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Now let's real quick jump on SNOP. Again, as I said, this is a theoretical session for SNOP. I can give you basic overview, what are the transaction, how it is done.
Sir, today we will practice it after the class. We will practice the whole things you taught today. And
Oh,
also,
that's fine, but okay, that's cool. Then even this master SNOP, see, I'll just give the high level because this topic I have to cover here, right? When it comes to planning discussion, we have to cover what is SNOP as well. So
yes, sir.
I'll just give a theoretical explanation what is SNOP. See,
Yes, sir.
irrespective of planning, there are a lot of steps in the planning, right?
Sure. Because, sir,
So SNO,
my majorly focus on SNOP planning because I found it uh, complex. It, that's,
no, don't worry, that is damn easy. So
okay.
see here you're entering MD61, right? Instead of doing entering the value in MD61, you will take four different steps before. You will enter some of the details in some other transaction. That will go for review. They will consolidate all the value, and end of the day it will come to MD61. As simple as that. There's nothing to worry about SNOP.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. See,
Sure.
whatever you do in your floor there, the planning, first you create a
Mhm.
product group. What are the product groups I have? Again, you will create an inactive version. In MD01, we created active version, right? You will
Sure.
create an inactive version, and it will
Mhm.
go for a review. Once all your SNOP team, sales and operation teams review it, and one fine point, you will change all the values, and you will make it as active. That's it. This is SNOP. There,
Okay.
there is nothing big in SAP to deal with. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyway, let's cover in the next session. That's
Sure.
fine.
Sure.
Okay. So I want you to take a screenshot of this. I want you to do it.
Already taken, sir.
Perfect.